Hi everyone. One of my longer-term viewers is Elin from Norway, hidden in a book. She focuses obviously more on writing than she does on film. And she asked me recently if I was going to do a book review at all soon, and I said yes, of course. I had actually planned on doing one. I had read a few months ago that the family of J.D. Salinger might possibly, maybe, be thinking about selling the film rights to his classic novel Catcher in the Rye. And I thought, well, gee, if they're going to make that into a film, I better read the book first, because that's a classic American novel. So I got it and read it in a matter of a few days. And one of the reasons why I read it so fast is because I really wanted to get it over with. I found the book to be pretty unpleasant. Now, maybe I'm missing something here about this. Those of you who study literature or whatever may have a good idea as to why this film is a classic American novel, because quite frankly, I'm having a hard time with it. Maybe it's just that when this book was published, there wasn't any other book like it at that time. It's written from the perspective of a 17-year-old prep school dropout, a kid named Holden Caufield, who basically despises school, despises his professors, and the other boys at the school, hates them all, thinks they're phonies, or at the very least irritating. So he gets expelled because his grades are so bad, and when he heads home, he decides to just basically hang out in the city in New York for a few days, because he isn't supposed to be coming home that early. He has a few more days until Christmas break officially starts, so he needs to just hang around and not basically show up at home, otherwise they'll know, his parents will know that he's been expelled, and he, doesn't want to have to deal with that. So he hangs out in the city, gets a hotel room, he goes to various bars, he thinks about calling up girls that he knows, he thinks about, meeting up with guys he knows for drinks or whatever. The only person he's really fond of is his little sister, Georgina. Everyone else he hates. He thinks of them as phonies. He just hates so much stuff, is irritated by a lot of things. And the funny thing about this book is it's a first-person novel, but it doesn't read like it was written by a 17-year-old. It reads like a 17-year-old basically just talked off of the top of his head for 4 hours, and someone just dictated the whole thing. He uses a lot of the same phrases over and over again, the main character. Whenever he is kind of amused by someone, he says, "He killed me. She kills me when she does that. I love it when that happens. It kills me." Something like that. And, that phrase is used all the time. It's kind of annoying. He also, there are certain words, it takes place, I think, in the 40s. So some of the grammar and some of the terminology is a little, obviously, old-fashioned. And, of course, everything seems to be a lot less expensive than it is now. He gets like a hotel room for something like $10, $15, something like that. Anyway, I really don't see what the whole big deal is here. And for those of you who have read this book, or those of you who have studied this book, I'd really like to know why this is considered a classic American novel. Like I said, maybe it's simply because it was unique at the time, but quite frankly, I found it pretty irritating and kind of pointless. And in the last chapter, I'm not going to describe exactly what happens, but he just says, "Okay, I'm done talking to you now, so see ya." It's not something that I found all that pleasant. So, and if they do make this into a film, there better be one really, really charming, charismatic young actor playing this character to keep him from being completely annoying all the time. There's a question of whether or not, I guess, they would use voiceover narration, whether or not they would lift dialogue and passages verbatim from the book, whether or not there would be a lot of, rewriting going on. I don't know. I probably wouldn't care that much if it wasn't already considered to be, one of the classics of American literature. So, yeah, leave me a comment or something, or send me a message, let me know what's the big deal with this movie, because, this book, this novel. That is my take on Catcher in the Rye. Shallow though it may be, but it seems like a pretty shallow story, unless there's all sorts of hidden depth and symbolism and themes that I'm just not picking up on, which is quite possible. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. How you doing, Elin? Great to see you. Take it easy.